Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to race week number 2 here in the Midwest F1 League. And tonight, Division 1 heads to the Shanghai International Circuits for the first time in 2 seasons for the Chinese Grand Prix. The racing sure to be a bright spot this season. Unbelievable track this. 16 corners make up the patience-testing 5.4-kilometer circuit. Now look for the 2 DRS zones to be the hot zone of overtaking, and drivers will have to beware of their tires as the circuit is known for its high degradation. Hotspot with you on the call once again here in Division 1. So glad to be back. And so glad that we finally have our regular team cars back. We don't need custom driver vehicles anymore, so we can provide an actual solid broadcast for you this time. As we said, it's been 2 seasons. Season 8. I believe it was round 5 or 6 of Season 8. Was the last time we visited the circuit. That round was taken by our very own Ryan Rods, who currently has the AlphaTauri. Oh, we have. Ooh, that's new PA in the background. Anyways, we do have our full 20 on track for tonight, and the big one that I'm going to be looking out for is our championship winner last season of Race Day 2016. Now, it's an interesting story with him. It is because he rather rose through the ranks quite quickly, and it only got to that point about 2-3 seasons, third to last season of F1 22. I'm going to be looking to see, because this is a very, very typical thing. You know, sometimes we have drivers that thrive with new games and other drivers that find the struggle a little bit more. Now, Race Day 2016 was the driver that really did excel when it came to taking on the new game last game. And so now it'll be interesting to see which drivers, in particular, it'll be interesting to see if he, once again, is able to, get on a good foot here. And is he going to be able to retain his Division 1 championship? That is going to be very interesting to keep an eye out for. It looks like first out, at least, is going to be Electric Blade. I have not been pinged for weather yet. Let's see if that's gone and changed. Not quite sure. Scavney tells me it is clear. Thank you very much, Scavney. So, clear racing all day. That's going to be quite a good sign, as first out on track is that of Electric Blade. Real-life Formula 1 hasn't raced here since 2019, quite some time ago, as you could imagine. Now, I believe this track is at least on the schedule for next year. It was also on the schedule for this year, and the year before that. So, whether we actually get racing back at this venue next season is going to be a whole other topic of discussion. However, has to be said, this track is brilliant in-game, always has been, and I think always will be as well, as this place just breeds brilliant overtaking racing. So, Electric Blade is going to be the first driver to start a timed lap here, as he makes his way out of turn 15, and then through 16, and down the pit straight for his timed lap. Now let's go along with him as he makes his way down the pit straight, and in towards turn 1, the very winding turns 1, 2, and 3. I tell you what, when you're racing on this circuit, these corners go on forever, and you really, it tests your patience, and I know I've kept saying that a couple times now. It tests your brain on account of you're trying to figure out which line you're supposed to be in to get the benefit of, coming out on the inside line, coming out of the third corner. You're also trying to keep away from the cars next to you, and you're also trying to find a good line through the corner, because it does make nearly a 180-degree loop. So there's a couple different ways to take the corner, and I think that's what a lot of drivers are going to have to look out for today. How much carnage are we going to get into that first corner? I believe we have had our first ever Midwest F1 League red flag, and that was last week at Silverstone for, I believe it was the Division 3 race. I could be wrong. Naturally, it's a purple sector 1 and 2. As Electric Blade making his way around turns 12 and 13 now. Somewhat of a banked corner this. In the rain, it is one hell of a corner to try to get right. And as he exits the corner, down this very long back straight, DRS, when it comes into play, absolutely crucial that you pick up, because this braking zone down in towards turn 14, very tight, 135-degree right-hand corner. Some people get it wrong, some people get it right, and when the overtakes happen there, absolutely brilliant to be seen. Through the final corner now. Exit, you got to be careful of track limits there. GRS open for Electric Blade. He's going to go 1:32.222. That looks like a lap good enough for provisional pole. Well, it better be. That'd be slightly odd if it wasn't. I believe next up we do have a Ferrari coming in line. It is that of Scavney, 1:33.624. That's a second and a half back. Fireballer not far behind. Bacon has just gone P2 in his Alpine. And oh, by the way, Bacon has worked incredibly hard on promoting this fundraiser, which I believe is being donated to, oh, I need to look at it again, what it's being donated to. I believe it's, what is the official name of this? The National MS Society, Multiple Sclerosis. They have raised, I believe, $500 of their $1,000 goal. And oh, by the way, had they done that by July the 14th, which today's July the 13th, so it all makes sense, I believe that of Pork Chops is going to be taking part in some of the Midwest duties of the iRacing 24 Hours of Spa. And oh, by the way, if you haven't noticed, Pork hates Spa, so that should be interesting. But hats off to Bacon for raising $500 for that fun. Actually, incredible achievements. So it'll be fun to see, as it looks like now. GSR Edwin has just gone over, sorry, Scornsey has just gone over 1:30.950 in his Aston Martin. Definite position, provisional pole at the moment, puts only 4/100ths of a second behind to Edwin. He was a really good lap, and I was actually surprised he had been beaten by Scornsey, because if you notice, he's got about 2/10ths back to the Williams of Gott Palmer. Race day 2016, this is interesting here. Only 4th at the moment. He is within striking distance of the top 3, but that is a position I'm not quite sure he expected to end up in. That's going to be something he's going to want to figure out quite quickly, as we have a yellow flag, and I believe it's a McLaren with low fuel towards the back. It is that of Helgeland. Is he going to be starting a timed lap now? He's on mediums as well. That's slightly bold. Here comes Helgeland. Timed lap now, I believe. On his medium tires. Remember, the degradation is so high here that Helgeland going for that strategy of maybe can I get more than one time to tempt in at a time, or maybe can I, take the series of cool down laps and hot laps, and I think that's what he's going for here because he's not low on battery. This is, I believe, his 3rd lap on these medium tires, and he is about 3.5 slow at this moment in time, so it looks as if he's going to have some work to do. And is his recharge light on? Yes, it is. I hadn't noticed that at first. Recharge light on for Helgeland. This lap is not going to mean anything for him. Out of the final corner is Hightower, and he'll be coming back to the pits here shortly. We have 2 drivers tonight who I believe have reached the 100 race milestone. We do have that of Swee, longtime Midwest driver, and a good friend of ours, Adol Tonian, both hitting magic milestone number 100. Very big congratulations to them, and thank you for sticking around. That, surely, that is a big achievement there. So it looks like Gunnar making his way through the grass there in his AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri, which, the big breaking news over the past 2 days, suddenly have dropped Nick De Vries and is being perhaps revitalized with Daniel Ricciardo. Interesting decision there. Let's see what correlation that has to Midwest F1. Probably nothing at all, but it's a pretty interesting turn of events, that, and also a pretty interesting turn of events. We have only 3 drivers out on track at the moment. 2 more have come out on outlaps, that being Scavney in the Ferrari and Fireballer in the Haas. So yeah, not very many cars on track at the moment. I believe we do have the McLaren of Houdini. Nope, not time for him. He's P9 at the moment. The AlphaTauri of Gunnar, who coming down the back straight now, I'm pretty certain is on low fuel, considering the yellow flag following him wherever he goes. Yet that part is true. And now, once again, the queue started to come back out. Several drivers deciding to come out of the pit lane, as we have about 9.5 minutes remaining in the session. Actually, I tell you what, about 50-50 split. Not that big of a, not that... It's almost a given that the drivers of the grid today were not that many, what do you call it? Yeah, about 50-50 split, really. But it looks the majority now coming out on outlaps. This is one I'm interested in here, is Race Day 2016. We've said it before. We'll say it again. Slightly surprised that he finds himself 0.3 of a second off the pace at the moment. However, if there was something Race Day 2016 was very good at in his last campaign, in which he won the championship, it was leaving these qualifying sessions late and pulling something out of the bag and absolutely getting pole position. So we'll be looking to see if he can do just that yet again. As he makes his way through Sector 2 now on his outlap. Houdini on low fuel. He'll be coming back in here shortly. I believe we have an Alfa Romeo behind him. It's that of VTEC, who's coming out of the final corner. He'll be starting one now. Who else do we have? Scornsy. Well, basically all of the top 7 currently find themselves on outlap. So this is going to be very interesting here. Let's see who is furthest ahead. I believe it is that of No Jug is going to get this queue started here behind him. Not far behind is that of Ryan Rods. Let's go along with No Jug, and we can switch back through the order. Oh, by the way, Lancey's not that far behind either. No Jug making his way into the first combination of corners now. Let's see if perhaps he can make a push for the top spot. The top 7 positions within half a second. That is a very good time span to be in. However, you got some really quick drivers in that conversation, naturally. If No Jug wants to get in that conversation, he's going to have to put down a solid one here. So let's see if he can do just that as he makes his way now through turn 7 and then through turn 8. About half throttle corner that through 8 through 9. Seems to be handling it well. He'll be coming up to the timing line here shortly. Before he gets into turn 11, the 90-degree left-hander, it is purple sector 2 for that of No Jug. Through 12, through 13 eventually. Remember, behind him is that of Ryan Rods. No Jug down the back straight. DRS is going to be open here shortly. All but 5 drivers out on track at the moment. Through turn 14 and 15 goes No Jug. Seems to be doing well so far. Let's see how he handles this final corner. I tell you what, I think he's held that quite neatly then. To the line goes No Jug. Provisional pole 1:36.78. Let's see, can Ryan Rods take it? No, he's off by just behind. I believe that was just about 6/100ths of a second behind No Jug, and then Edwin comes and takes that spot. I believe next up is Lancey. He goes 6th. Behind him is Race Day. Race Day can only manage 4th. He does improve by over 0.3 of a second. However, still can't break the barrier to get even further within the top 2 rows, as Ryan Rods occupies 3rd, No Jug 2nd by less than 1/10. And it is GSR Edwin, who at the moment looks to be quite untouchable. However, Scornsy to the line now, and he pushes Race Day to the 3rd row. And he bested him by just over 1/10 of a second, I believe there. Moves himself within 1/10 of Ryan Rods for 3rd. I tell you what, this is quite a interesting qualifying session here. Wouldn't surprise me if we get a... I don't want to say surprise, but I tell you what, it's going to make for one hell of a race off the line. We've just had a Williams go... Oh, that was lovely outside. We've just had the Williams of Aero Racing Design. He's gone 9th. He moves himself within, within a second and a half of provisional pole. By the way, from P1 to P9, just over a second. And then that's another 0.5 of a second gap back to Electric Blade. For that 10th spot. Impossible Bacon's going to be coming in now. I believe he actually invalidated that final lap, and it looked as if he was on quite a good one as well, as we now see a queue of drivers trying to get back into the pits here. Running low on time, and I'm sure running low on tires as well. Definitely within the last 5 minutes now, about 4 minutes and 15 seconds to go. This is going to be an absolute mad dash to get back into the pits and get themselves situated for their final flying lap attempt. Aero Racing Design on low fuel mode, it seems. He's about a second slower. Cynical on his way in. We have the Red Bull next of Hightower, who is also on his way in. I believe behind him we have the Ferrari of Scavney, who looks like he's on a timed lap here. Let's see what Scavney has to offer. He's got 3 seconds to make up. No, this is going to be his timed lap now. Let's see what Scavney has as he makes his way down the pit straight and in towards turn 1. I believe it is the Alfa Romeo of VTEC now coming out for a his out lap. Is Scavney going to be at a disadvantage here? It's tough to tell because as much as he's got clean track ahead of him, that's also going to be, his last attempt unless he's, set himself up for 2 flying laps, which doesn't typically happen. We haven't seen it all season or all session long this race as well. It's very much 1 lap and done, and you're in on the next. And with 3 minutes to go here, it's going to be another mad dash to get out of the pits. As I believe that is Gunnar, who's taking a trip through the grass. And I believe that was a flying lap attempt as well. So not ideal for the Alpha Tauri. He's going to have to get it back around quite quickly. He still has a decent amount of battery left. So hopefully he's got enough fuel. And I think I spoke too soon. As you can see, the indicator is flashing. He's got 2 minutes and 40 seconds to get back out of the pits and to set down a timed lap. Let's see what Scavney has to offer as he makes his way down the turns 14 and 15 in his Ferrari. Through the very tight turn 14. Nicely done on exit of 15. Let's see how he handles turn 16 here. He'll need a good one. He has a lot of ground to make up. Well, he's taking it quite shallow is what he's done. To the line goes Scavney. And he's actually not improved. So he stays P20 at the uh-oh, migrating host. What's happening here? Scavney has apparently left the session according to... he's put himself P16, but that's slightly odd, that. I know he was talking about how his power had flickered beforehand, and I'm starting to think that maybe that's what's happened yet again for Scavney. And the host has... perhaps moved on, so it'll be interesting to see. I definitely got some of the what do you call it, the frame rate droppage there when he did leave. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. However, this is the interesting one here. We do have GSR Edwin in his Mercedes leading this queue behind. Now, this is interesting here. We've only got a minute and a half to go, and GSR Edwin, all definitely entitled to having clear track ahead of him, but I think we may see a very similar incident to Monza 2019 where we just simply don't get cars out on track and we don't get time lapse on the board or better time lapse. Eventually Edwin does get back going here. Scavney's rejoined the session and Edwin will now start his final timed lap attempt as he makes his way through the very twisty and turvy, that's not a word, twisty, tight, I don't know. 1, 2, and 3 here, makes his way through the first combination of corners. On exit he goes, holds the throttle nicely, looking good so far. No Jug, remember, has himself second. His teammate of Scornsey starting his time lap now. Ryan Rod's also starting one. Race Day, I believe, is already on one, as it turns out. Got Palmer not far behind. So the race to the line is going to be Edwin first, Race Day second, Palmer third, his teammate of Cynical fourth after that, and then we're going to look at the Ferrari of Cali Rob, and then the Alfa Romeo, I believe, of Electric Blade. Time has elapsed here. Houdini manages 13th, Scavney 16th, Gunnar 19th, Josh Sr. P20. Not ideal. Start for him. However, we'll have to see if GSR Edwin can make something happen here. Very bipolar day so far for the Mercedes team in the qualifying session. Let's see if Edwin can improve here. We've had a spin towards the back. It's one of the Alfa Romeos. Which one is it? And I believe it is that of VTEC. Not gone well for him. Edwin coming through the final corner now, and he's pulling into the pits as No Jug comes in behind. Who's up next? It's Race Day coming to the line. Race Day gets provisional pole, 130, 451. Who comes behind next? I believe it was that of Palmer, who can only manage 6th. Next up, the Ferrari of Cali Rob. He goes 9th. Next up, the Red Bull. It's Hightower coming to the line now. We'll have to wait and see what he can do. Scornsy to the line. All he can manage is P5. He was actually slower by over a quarter of a second. And then the AlphaTauri of Ryan Rods, 130, 368. That's good enough for provisional pole. Is anyone else on a time lap behind him to make it happen? And the answer looks to be no, as No Jug is on low fuel. Behind him we have the Red Bull, I believe it's Lancey, and Lancey goes wide. Was he perhaps held up from the Aston Martin? I believe he was, because I tell you what, that was probably worth 2 seconds then, and that was exactly the delta, 1.6 seconds. And unfortunate for Lancey, because I think he may have been on something there to get within the top 2 rows. But it's GSR Ryan Rods on pole, and he's followed by the reigning defending champion of race day in second. What a session that was there. So you're starting grid then for the Chinese. Oh, I forgot to turn the music off. I'm going to get banned now. GSR Ryan Rods on pole by less than 1/10 of a second over race day. The reigning defending champion in second. Edwin third. No Jug fourth. Scornsy fifth. Got Palmer, the Williams in sixth. Bacon seventh. The Red Bull of Lancey in eighth. Ninth belongs to Cali Rob. 10th Aero Racing Design. 11th is Electric Blade. 12th VTech. 13th Fireballer, 14th Houdini, 15th Cynical, 16th Hightower, 17th Helgelin, 18th Scavney, 19th is Gunner. Rounding out the field, P20 is that of Josh Sr. So, lots of heavy hitters up here in the top 5. Is there carnage perhaps into the first corner that makes a surprise winner come into play? We'll have to wait and see. Stick with us. So our formation lap about to get underway here in China. Remember, Midwest Esports brought to you by Raise Energy and Epos Audio. And wow, look at the mixture of tire choices we have for you today. Ryan Rods, and in fact the rest of the top 6 have taken the hard compound tires, which the game tells me will last between 17 and 21 laps. Medium tires, which currently occupied within the top 10 only by Bacon and Cali Rob. That'll go between 16 and 18. The softs only 10 to 13, which in its own right was a step up from last year's game. The tires definitely would not have lasted this long in any of these circumstances. So it's good to see. My question is Scornsy, and in fact, that as well. He's got some work to do here off the start. Currently starting P5. He's going to be alongside the Williams of Gott Palmer, at least for them. Everybody in front of them and including them are going to be on equal tire compounds. How heavy of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Variable does Impossible Bacon, sorry, not even Impossible Bacon anymore, now it's just Bacon. How much of a variable does Bacon play into the start here? One of only 2 drivers in the top 10 on medium tires. He'll have a clear-cut pace advantage off the line. Where does he line up on the grid, and where does that leave him to perhaps get a jump on his competitors ahead? GSR Ryan Rods, the last driver in Division 1 to win here. That was back in Season 8. He's also, as it turns out, the most previous race winner in Great Britain last time out. So he currently leads the driver standings over that of GSR Edwin. Got Palmer up there, Lancey up there, and Scornsy rounding out the top 5. So, sure to be an interesting one here. Remember the Williams team last time out had a day to forget, more or less, and they've got Palmer in 6th. Good mixture of teams here. Within the top 10, only the Alpines and the Aston Martin team find themselves with both drivers within the top 10. That is what we say. That is a very good spread amongst our top 10 drivers. Speaking of the Alpine, Bacon has not found the line correctly. And look how narrow, angled in GSR Ryan Rods is across the nose of Race Day 2016. It's Ryan Rods on the right, Race Day on the left, lights turning on here, round 2 in China. And they are finally off here in China. Now, who gets the better start? It looks like it's pretty dead even, but it looks like Ryan Rods had the better of him. He switches to the outside line, and Race Day files in behind as the grid behind them. Look at that, it's No Jug down to the inside, and he's got the Haas. and he's going to take that second spot from Race Day. And meanwhile, Scornsy round the outside of Race Day as well. Side by side they go as they exit the fourth corner, and it looks like Race Day is going to drop to that fifth position. Not ideal for him, as he already finds himself in quite the hole. It looks like Lancey, oh, that's an incident then. Cali Robb has found the gravel. Thankfully, it doesn't look like much else has happened, and it's only that of Cali Robb that has found the gravel there. But it is GSR Ryan Rods taking the top spot, currently leading by over 0.8 of a second. It looks like Fireballer and Cali Robb back there. Cynical as well in that battle as well, as they round turn 10 towards the 90-degree left-hander of turn 11. Bacon was not much of a, well, I mean, I think he gained one spot off the start. If any, yeah, so he's gained one, Race Day down 2, Edwin down 2, and now currently Edwin very much pressuring Race Day here, and Bacon might find himself in this as well, as we have Hightower off towards the back. Edwin's going to go down the inside of Race Day as they make their way in towards the 14th corner. Race Day's going to try to switch back down, and he just didn't have the real estate to make it happen. There goes VTech, heavy dive from him. He collides with Lancey. Lancey gets pushed wide. VTech gets up to the 7th spot, at the cost of it being a clean overtake, and I'm not sure Lancey's going to very much appreciate that one. That was a huge dive bomb from the Alfa Romeo, and I would hope to see VTech give that spot back, because I'm not actually sure it was cleanly taken, as Bacon finds the way down the inside past Race Day as he drops even further down the grid. Not ideal for him, and now finds himself under pressure from the Alfa Romeo, who, by the way, still on the soft tires of VTech. Chaotic opening start there. Race Day, I think, maybe was playing it a little safer than maybe he needed to, as Cali Robb getting around Houdini there, as you can see. Very nicely done for the Ferrari driver. VTech, oh, that was a big wiggle for VTech, and he spins into the runoff outside of turn 7 and 8. And that, well, we saw that more commonly last game than we have here. That mistake hadn't been made all day. VTech, unfortunately for him, drops to the back of the order. Doesn't manage to hit anything, thankfully enough, but very poor start for VTech. And I'm sure that that's not what he wanted whatsoever, as the grid weaves their way through turns 11, 12, and 13. Meanwhile, it is 0.4 of a second and closing. Does No Jug have a move here at Ryan Rods for the lead? Does he find anything towards the bottom? The answer is no. He tucks right in behind the AlphaTauri, and he's got his teammate of Scornsy in support, who at the moment in time has made up quite a few spots. Looks like Hightower is perhaps spun it out of 13. Either that or he's got a puncture or something, I'm not quite sure, but he is quite far behind. DRS, I believe, is going to be open this time round. And now a close one. Lancey trying to make a move on Race Day here. He's within 0.2 of a second. Race Day letting them have the bottom line through turns 1 and 2. That was how Impossible Bacon got past the Haas. That's how Lancey's going to look to get past him. He's going to switch back down to the inside through the apex of turn 3. It doesn't get it to happen, but I tell you what, Race Day really on the back foot here in the opening stages. And meanwhile, the two Aston Martins at the moment seem to have really made some progress, both of them in the top 3 at the moment, as Lancey does get around Race Day. That coming out of turn 6 on their way into 7, as Race Day, I think right now, just needs to be careful, not lose any more spots, not panic as well. But here he goes. He's looking for something to try to get past Lancey. Big slip there. That one has definitely cost him some ground. We'll have to wait and see. I tell you what, so interesting thing that I didn't pick up on earlier is that the DRS straight here coming out of turn 13 has actually been shortened, I think, quite significantly. So it's not as powerful as it was, because it used to be right about here at the end of the grass, in which it would be picked up. So it's been shortened by about 150 meters, I'd say. At least that's what it seems like. No Jug right to the back of Ryan Rods yet again. Doesn't quite get the maneuver as Race Day goes down the inside of Lancey, going through turns 14 and 15. Does he get the spot back? No. Lancey strikes back on the inside. Through 16 they go. Lancey goes wide, parks it on the apex. Race Day tries to switch to the left, and the position still belongs to the Dutchman, but only just and only for now, as Race Day with the DRS. Look at this! It's nearly 4 abreast there! So many cars involved in this battle. Race Day's gone wide. Lancey drops back to P8. Cali Robb and Aero Racing Design make their way through all of that carnage. carnage, I don't even think is the correct word for that statement, but we had about 5 cars looking to overtake one another, and race day 2016, after starting P2 on the grid, has fallen back to 10th. Not what he need. Oh, and that's a big slip! Somehow he holds on to it. That one was not ideal whatsoever. And race day 2016 has, well, there's no other way to say it, he's got a mountain to climb now. But I tell you what, I speak for the talent of race day 2016. I think he could still maybe find his way on the podium, as we see Cali Robb was side by side there with Aero Racing Design. I'm not sure if the Alpine's been pushed wide or he's lost ground. I'm not rightly sure. But either way, Cali Robb finds himself in the 6th position, and now No Jug with DRS. Does he find the inside of Ryan Rods as they go towards turn 14 and 15? Yes, he does, and he's got it by some margin as well. Yellow flag at the back. It's a Mercedes. It's Josh Sr., who's found the inside Armco barrier coming through turn 13. Oh, and I think he's beached it on the curb as well. No, he does find the traction and gets it into gear. And nearly backs across Hightower as well. That one got sketchy right quickly. Ryan Rods nearly had a look there at No Jug. Meanwhile, Aero Racing Design and Lancey side by side as they go down the pit straight. Cali Robb in front. Electric Blade tucked in behind. And a virtual safety car will neutralize the proceedings here. That's somewhat of a bold neutral safety car. I'm not rightly sure why that's been called out. And Josh Sr. did have a decent bit of debris on the inside of the circuit, but it was maybe an end plate, or I don't even know if it was both end plates or what. It didn't look that much. But either way, the virtual safety car has come out here. The field is neutralized as they clean up the debris on the inside of turn 13. And look at this, Electric Blade all over the gearbox of Aero Racing Design here, as it looks like shortly it'll be coming to an end. Let's see what happens. Brilliant racing so far from the Division 1 grid. Absolutely incredible stuff. Let's see what continues next. Had a sip of water in my mouth at the moment. Aero Racing Design nearly losing the car. Virtual safety car has still not come in. Let's see if we just get a look at where the debris is. This is about where Josh Sr. lost the car. I don't see anything there. Yeah, no debris left behind, as now the virtual safety car ends. And I tell you what, there's a battle for the lead, as we've got not only this, Lancey getting around Cali Robb. Cali Robb losing about 3 positions there, 4 even, as he loses, but he's going to try to outbrake him on the outside. Maybe does he get around Aero Racing Design? Contact behind with the Alfa Romeo of Electric Blade. Unbelievable amounts of action here in DRS once more. No Jug has retained the lead from the pressure of Ryan Rods behind and Scornsey behind him. Several cars battling for position here, all of which trying to get that 6th spot, currently occupied by the Dutchman of Lancey, who, by the way, occupying both lanes of the track here as Cali Robb and Aero Racing Design go wheel to wheel through the first 3 corners. Cali Robb pokes ahead of Aero Racing Design, and somehow this hasn't ended in disaster yet. Oh, I tell you what, we nearly had it then, as Aero Racing Design seriously had a slip there and loses the spot to Electric Blade, who is up 3 since the beginning of the race. Wow. Crazy stuff early on here, and oh, by the way, the top 5 still within 3 seconds of each other. Aero Racing Design, yet another slip there. That's where he had it under the virtual safety car. Nearly lost it in the process. We're going to go ahead with Bacon. Actually, no, we're going to go ahead with GSR Edwin as he sees the train of cars ahead of him. Swerve down to the inside, trying to break the toe as much as they can. 0.2 of a second and closing. Ryan Rods down to the inside. Does he have it on No Jug into turn 14? Oh, if No Jug gets better acceleration, which he did. Great defending there from No Jug to maintain better acceleration as Cali Robb getting down the inside of Lancey on their way into 14. Great stuff here. Let's see, yeah, and Cali Robb does get better acceleration, but meanwhile, Ryan Rods up the inside through turn 1. Maybe some contact there. It looked quite close, but now the Aston Martins trying their best to find a way around Ryan Rods. Scornsey's been bested by the AlphaTauri, by the driver himself. a few too many times, I'd like to say. Scornsy will surely be looking to get one back here. And oh, by the way, still has the Mercedes of Edwin in pursuit as well. But No Jug at the moment doing his best, and he's only just lost the lead to Ryan Rods, and he's going to be looking to get it back, and I believe he has the pace to do just that. As they make their way through Sector 2. Again, the DRS so heavily used here, and even then, I still think they ended up shortening the DRS zone by a little bit. I'm not sure. Oh, No Jug nearly missed the brakes there. Nearly went straight into the back of Ryan Rods, but holds on to it. Still within DRS range. Within 0.5 of a second, but his teammate of Scornsy even closer behind him. Scornsy, will he be under pressure from Edwin? I'm not quite sure. No Jug, what does he do here? Oh, I think he might be too far behind. Scornsy has a peek at the bottom just to see what's happening. No overtakes to be had. No Jug nearly went into the back of Ryan Rods there. That one got close. Here's Electric Blade looking forward on the Red Bull of Lancey as they make their way down towards turn 14. And Electric Blade has that one, and now perhaps does that open the door as the two Haas's behind, they trade positions. Whoa, and Fireballer's gone way wide. I think maybe has he almost made contact with his teammate there. No team orders to be had amongst the Haas crew. Both of them fighting for spots. Race Day manages to salvage one, finds himself 10th after the relatively abysmal start that he had. And now Scavney in the Ferrari overtakes the Haas of Fireballer, who now finds himself under pressure behind from Houdini. At the top of the table, No Jug within 0.4 of a second, as that's the Red Bull of Hightower. Had somewhat of a something happen there, I'm not rightly sure. No Jug still managing to keep it within 0.4 of a second. If he's able to hold on to this, I think the only reason he wasn't in range to make the overtake happen last time was because of the late break into turn 11 in which he went wide. So let's see what he has now as they make their way through 11 and 12 and eventually 13. As Scavney getting around Race Day there, forcing Race Day down to P11. 0.4 of a second the gap, the battery being used, the Aston Martin in pursuit here. His teammate just a little bit further behind. Ryan Rods guards the inside. No Jug takes the outside. And I think he's going to get him even before they make it to the corner. Yes, he does. No Jug had that one comfortably. But Ryan Rods wants it back down the inside. And I don't think he's had the traction available to make it happen. But what happens out of turn 16? Absolutely riding track limits there is No Jug. And now Ryan Rods with DRS. What line does he choose into the first corner? It looks like he's going to choose the inside. Scornsy ahead. Maybe. It didn't look like contact was made. It got rightly close, though. Here we go. Ryan Rods, I think, inadvertently pushed No Jug up the track in process of making his overtake. Scornsy, I think, maybe reacted a little too late. He could have had at least the one past his teammate. I don't think now is the time to be battling with your teammate, though, as Scornsy has once again decided to back off. A little bit further behind, Air Racing Design trying to make it around the outside of Lancey through turn 3 and 4. Didn't get it to go, but still looking and still within 0.3 of a second. Lancey, I tell you what, he's had a hell of a lot of action so far this race, and it's not over yet for the Dutchman. Meanwhile, it looks like the biggest mover in the positive direction has been that of Scavney, up 8. Race Day, unfortunately down 9, got Palmer down 10. So the top 4 still within 2 seconds of each other. Bacon has fallen outside of 4 seconds to the car ahead of that being GSR Edwin. Now, does No Jug, well, I tell you what, he's having a lot of work to do. Will he once again try to find something from DRS? Oh, and Ryan Rods, I think, took up too much of the circuit there. That wasn't an insult, by the way. I think he's just defended really well. No Jug did not, or was not able to find a way past as they make their way through 16. DRS once again activated here for the top 4. No Jug not close enough to make anything happen, as it looks like Houdini overtaking the Haas of Fireballer as they make their way in towards turn 14. Only the one virtual safety car so far, that being for what I can assume to be the debris of Josh Sr.'s Mercedes. That one I think was still a mystery realistically. Air Racing Design down to the inside of Scavney. Look at him ride that curb. sorry, Lancey rather, absolutely riding the curb there was Air Racing Design. I tell you what, that one took guts, and Lancey, I think maybe just left the door a little bit too open. But now, does Lancey have another move here as he tries the right way around, the left line, and he does make it past Air Racing Design. But now will he be able to hold on? I mean, Lancey does not have DRS ahead to Electric Blade, and that's why this battle is still so close. Aero Racing Design, he's going to try to find the right way, the left line again. He's going to have the inside line through 9. Yes, he does. Brilliantly done there from Aero Racing Design, but he slips, and that might leave the door open for the Red Bull. In towards turn 11. Meanwhile, we do still have the battle for the lead going on. It's not really within overtaking distance quite yet, although I think No Jug may be having a look here. Contact with the back of the AlphaTauri. That one got close indeed. Back along with Lancey, who finds himself behind Aero Racing Design, but only only for now as DRS is in play. Yellow flag towards the back. It's a multi-car accident here as we have, that is the Haas of Fireballer, who I think almost collected another car. And that one got scary right quick as Houdini making it around race day. Race day now down 10 spots, back to 12th. Lancey managed to get around Aero Racing Design as Scavney finds his way into the pit. Scornsey within 4/10 of his teammate. Scavney started on the soft tires, remember. The yellow flag somewhere, it says in Sector 3, it's the Mercedes and Josh Sr. Through turn 11 and 12. A couple of cars making their ways in, that being Scavney, that being Gunner on their way in. They've gone from what I would assume is, well, Scavney's gone soft to medium here. Medium will go 16 to 18 laps. So Scavney's going to try to play the long game on the mediums, which I think could work, realistically. But let's find out. I'm not quite sure just yet. No Jug here within half a second of Ryan Rods. I tell you what, I don't know where he's still getting the battery from. Maybe is he just not really using it? Doesn't look like No Jug is using his battery all that much. Maybe is he just trying to conserve as much as he can and catch the AlphaTauri by surprise, or maybe catch him in a mistake. Either of which are valid options. But here's Aero Racing Design rounding the 13th corner as they head down the back straight now. Lancey, I think, might have him covered this time by, although that is an increasingly blue car in his rear view as they head towards turn 14. Aero Racing Design does not have anything for Lancey this time. However, that battle, I would assume, still going to be raging on here shortly as No Jug within 3/10 of Ryan Rods. But then again, oh, and there's Aero Racing Design. Oh, but Lancey's gone in. That was the culprit to that one. Cynical's just gotten around VTEC there. Lancey started on the hards. This seems like an early stop for him. Medium tires going on for the Red Bull. That was either a front wing change or a very slow stop. And the camera angle not necessarily doing us justice here. Because, according to my camera, yeah, there we go. I'm not really sure what just happened there. That seems a very slow stop there from the Red Bull. As they round turn 13 now, what does No Jug have to offer? Four-tenths of a second and closing once again. Not really using his overtake button as they head down the back straight in towards turn 14. Once again, No Jug just tucking in line between Ryan Rods. This may be a good strategy to have. Ryan Rods, has to be said, I don't really think has been ever put under this much pressure. I don't think he's ever been put under this much pressure on the racing circuit. Like legitimately on track. I think this might be new territory for him here in Division 1. I'm not quite sure, because every time I see Ryan Rods, he's probably at the head of the field and by some margin as well as he was last week. But at the moment, No Jug hanging right in line. Got a yellow flag. It's Josh Sr. finds himself in the barriers there, the Tech Pro barriers, as he's making his way through turn 9, or at least attempting so, on what I believe as well are fresh softs. Looks like Cynical and Race Day still battling it out here side by side as the Williams gets around the Haas through turns 2 and 3. Scavney getting around Fireballer there with the aid of DRS. Speaking with the aid of DRS, it looks like the Aston Martins may be around for a swap here. Yes, they are. Scornsy has gotten around No Jug, and I think that may be the plan. But my question is, does Scornsy have the pace to get up to Ryan Rods? No Jug has held along with Ryan Rods the entire Grand Prix so far, and already Scornsy outside of 1.2 seconds, as I think they're going to invert the Aston Martins one more time. No, maybe not. Oh, I tell you what, I don't think I would have swapped them around in the first place. No Jug had some serious pace. The conclusion of this lap will mark the halfway point. Edwin's on his way in. He is the first taker of tires on the hard as we have a yellow flag, and it's Helgelin in the McLaren. Has he lost any front wing? The answer is no, but he's getting back to gear quite slowly at the moment. But now look at this. I think this is a total flop by the Aston Martins here because it's a 1.5 seconds gap. Scornsy goes wide, and I think Scornsy recognizes that, and he's going to allow No Jug to give chase to Ryan Rods once more, as that gap now outside of 2 seconds, but immediately starts to close. Oh, and that's a Mercedes that's gone off there. Maybe not. Lancey sets the fastest lap so far, 1:34.992. I tell you what, to lose the DRS back to Ryan Rods, that, I think, has to have been the critical mistake by the Aston Martin team, because No Jug, I don't think, should have been put behind Scornsy there in the first place. I know team orders aren't a thing, and they're not, but, you know, sometimes you'll find yourselves in this position with your teammate where it's very clear that one is faster than the other. Well, I'm not rightly sure that that was the case. I don't know, maybe they just wanted to give Scornsy free air, and they tried, and he immediately lost ground, but now, 1.7, it's going back up again in fairness, as Scornsy on his way in. So No Jug, it's up to him now to get to Ryan Rods. So it's Scornsy and Bacon on their way in. Bacon, remember, started on the mediums. Scornsy started on the hards. Medium tires going on for Scornsy. He'll be able to go to the distance. Bacon, hard tires going on for him. That'll promote Aero Racing Design, I believe, up to the 5th spot. Assuming he gets ahead of Scornsy. No, he doesn't, but Scornsy hits the grass. Yellow flag out of the final corner. Helgelin, I think, has found the barriers on the inside. I tell you what, he's taking his merry time getting back going here. No, he's found the outside of the circuit, thankfully. Tell you what, that 13th corner claiming some drivers today as VTech and Race Day battling it out here. That's some contact there. Race Day to the inside of VTech through turn 4 now. Definitely some argy-bargy going on there as Fireballer looking to get around the Williams of Scott Palmer. Tell you what, it's been a less than ideal race for the Haas team so far. Granted, Fireballer only down 1, but Race Day down 8. And uh-oh, safety car's out. Helgelin retires. Is that in the pit lane? I think that's exactly where that is. Helgelin has retired. Now, I'm not rightly sure where, but I think he has either hit the wall on the outside of the pit lane going out of turn 16, or he's done it in the pit lane, and the safety car takes to the track. Oh, and that throws a huge monkey wrench into the plans of many of the drivers on the grid. Mediums for Ryan Rods, mediums for No Jug. They'll be on even Stevens. Cali Rob on his way in as well. I believe he's just granted himself P3 somehow. No, I think Scornsy's going to go back past. He has already stopped, as well as Edwin. Yeah, everybody in the top 4's made their spot. Cali Rob, Electric Blade, and Aero Racing Design in now. I think Bacon's going to get up to about 5th here. Yes, he does. That was a bold safety car there. I'm not, like, I didn't even see the accident take place, and I'm not rightly sure where Helgeland had actually lost the car. Wherever it was enough for the game to deploy the safety car, and now we're just over halfway completed in this race in what's been an absolutely brilliant Division 1 Chinese Grand Prix so far. The field will become neutralized here, and No Jug, pending he can stay on to the back of Ryan Rod throughout the safety car, he'll be able to make something happen here. I think No Jug might be in contention for a win here if he's able to hold on. Remember, No Jug was able to win Singapore last season, back on June the 8th. And also, by the way, won Monaco and Imola. So yeah, let's just reiterate that for you. No Jug has won 3 out of the last 6 Division 1 races he's taken part in. The other 2 being claimed by Race Day 2016, and then most recently Ryan Rod's at Silverstone. And as we allow the safety car to catch up to itself here, I'm going to step aside just for now. The car will be making its way in this lap. As you can see, the top 5, barring Impossible Bacon, on the medium tires. Electric Blade in P6 on the softs. Air Racing Design mediums in P7. Cynical 8th, and Race Day 9th also on the softs. Cali Robb did the old 2-stop under the safety car to get himself from medium to hard to back to medium, and he's demoted himself down to 13th. Bacon is the only driver, aside from Josh Sr. on the grid, who currently occupies the hard tire. Now, how gutsy is No Jug off the start here? This is what Ryan Rod's is good at as well. He's good at catching these drivers out by surprise on these safety car restarts. Never mind his actual true pace that he has, well, quite a lot of. He's able to absolutely pull away from the grid on these safety car starts, and let's see if he's able to do just that once again. No Jug's got to be absolutely ready, and here he goes. VTEC has picked up a 5-second penalty for a collision with Race Day under the safety car condition. And that, not ideal for the Alfa Romeo, and I'm sure the stewards might be having a look at that one later, as I believe we have a yellow flag in the back. Yes, we do. That's I believe it's a Mercedes. It's just Josh Senior getting out of the way. Okay, that one got scary there for a minute. Electric Blade and Aero Racing Design side by side as they make their way through turns 1, 2, and 3. Cynical getting around Race Day. Race Day now under pressure from VTEC, who, by the way, in case you've just missed what I've said, those two have had history in the past couple of laps. Bacon has been demoted back down to 6th, and it looks as if his teammate of Aero Racing Design has gotten ahead. No Jug, for the time being, has managed to stay within a couple of tenths of Ryan Rod's. Electric Blade, despite being on the softs, has not managed to pick up any ground over the 2 cars ahead of him. Let's see if that changes now. Soft tires in play. Electric Blade, does he find the way down the inside of Bacon? Yes, he does. Nicely done there for Electric Blade, but he doesn't have it quite yet as Bacon is still on the bottom. And there he goes. Does Electric Blade have the traction around the outside to get it done? I think he does. And, I tell you what, that one got close right there, but Electric Blade has the spot for now. It looks like Bacon wants to take the spot back, but at the top of the grid, No Jug within a tenth of Ryan Rod's, and it looked like an overtake may have been on. Cynical now dropping down to P9, as Bacon and Electric Blade still swapping positions here, as well as I believe we've got the Haas of Race Day, was very much under pressure from the Williams there temporarily. No DRS just yet, but here comes No Jug, round the outside through turn 1. Does he make anything happen? Not quite yet. Does he look for the switch back down to the inside? No, he doesn't, but No Jug hot on the heels of Ryan Rod's here. And I tell you what, remember we saw earlier the swap in positions between the 2 Aston Martin drivers that I really thought was a huge mistake, as we now have, oh, that's Electric Blade! And Electric Blade dropping back here. Doesn't look like he's got any damage, but he was off track there for a moment, I believe, is now Scavney down to the inside. Cali Robb, rather. As it looks like Scavney trying to make the move here. Oh, that's a big incident! Scavney through the middle! 3-car accident! And Cali Robb's DNF'd. Oh my goodness, guys, this might be a red flag. We've got 2 DNFs here. And a plethora of front wings. This one might be a red flag. Look at all the debris on the circuit. Only the safety car for now, as Cali Robb has been taken in that one. Oh, that was a huge accident there. I'm really surprised the safety car hadn't come out. Sorry, the red flag. Now, I'm surprised. Well, it was Cali Robb who was side by side with, I believe, was the Alfa Romeo of Electric Blade. Both of them had gotten out of shape. Cali Robb had gone for the middle. Yeah, it didn't quite work out in his favor, has to be said. I'm afraid for Cali Robb, because it was a fair effort, and there really wasn't much place for him to go. But through the middle was apparently not the answer, and we are under safety car conditions once again, as it looks like we do have Impossible Bacon, who's going to be coming in. Do we have anyone else behind him? Oh, the answer is yes. We got a couple drivers behind him, actually. Oh, I tell you what, we got a fair few drivers in behind. VTEC picking up 5 seconds for speeding into the pit lane. That puts him to 10. Softs on for Bacon. I tell you what, about half the grid in right now. In fact, it's exactly half the grid in. Here comes the first 5-second penalty to be served here for VTEC. And it's a double stack for the Alfa Romeos. All the softs going on. And I tell you what, this may just leave the top 5 at a disadvantage, considering everyone, their mother and their brother, on the softs now, with less than 10 laps to go. I tell you what, well, safety car's still here. I'm going to assume we're going to be getting the safety car in here within just a couple of laps' time. I tell you what a rebound this will be for Race Day, who now finds himself up to 6th after dropping down, I believe, as low as 13th. That would be quite the rebound for him. I don't think we're going to get the safety car in this lap. The safety car already midway down the back straight. So No Jug, I think, realizes now that he's in a position to where he has the pace to overtake Ryan Rods, but he has to be aggressive. And I think that is going to be a huge realization for No Jug, because once we get the safety car in, he's not going to have a lot of time, and he's not going to have DRS to help him for much of it. Assuming DRS comes back into play, I believe at least 2 laps after the end of the safety car. It's lap 22 now. So he'll have DRS with about 5 to go, thereabouts. As we now have, I believe, that VTEC coming back in this time to serve the initial 5 second for, I believe, the contact with Race Day 2016 that he had earlier. Yeah, and here it comes. This will be the penalty being served here. So Ryan Rods leads the charge through now Sector 2 behind the safety car, making it second Trek on track today. The first safety car was for Helgeland's DNF. That we didn't really get a good look as to why that happened, and then that incident just 2 laps ago now, which absolutely deserved to be a safety car. And I'm actually quite thankful they didn't red flag it, because there was a fair possibility of it being red flagged, considering that the car was in the middle of the circuit. Now, I think we have the red flag set to lenient. I think had more than one car DNF there, we would have had the possibility. I'm not really sure. I've never gotten a red flag in game before yet. So yeah, I'm not quite sure how that's all going to work out, but if we look at the positives and negatives here, Aero Racing Design up 5, No Jug and Scornsy up 2 each, Houdini up 6, Hightower up 4, Gunner up 6, safety car in this lap. Remember, Race Day still down 4, but driver of the day at the moment belongs to, I believe, Houdini in the McLaren. So, once again, here's your tire lives on the left side of your screen on the leaderboard. With 23 out of 28 laps complete, sorry, beginning the 23rd lap, so 6 to go. So it'll be 6 laps to go this time by. No Jug, I think he's going to have to get gutsy here if he wants the race win. I think he's looking to be. Ryan Rods, I tell you what, nearly got to one there. He's going to wait for No Jug to slow down. The queue being formed behind, and there goes Ryan Rods. And the queue, I think, has to sort themselves back into a straight line there. Ryan Rods has gotten a great jump. It's over a half a second with 6 laps to go, as we already have an off. It's Josh Sr. And he's lost it going through turn 15. No safety car, no virtual safety car. I'm not sure what's happened there, as Bacon finding his way around got Palmer. And Fireballer as well, I believe, getting out of shape there, perhaps temporarily. No Jug closing the gap now. He was at a disadvantage at the beginning of the green flag lap. Now he's within 0.3 of a second. He's not going to have DRS for, I believe, another 2 laps. Does No Jug have anything to say here? Can he be able to knock Ryan Rods off the pedestal that Ryan Rods, I think, rightfully wants back? And I think he believes he deserves to have it back because he's been one of the most dominant drivers we've ever seen here in Division 1. But now, new blood is on the horizon as Bacon and Lancey side by side. Bacon manages to go underneath the Dutchman there and get the 7th spot back. No DRS here, but battery being used. Ryan Rods using it in defense. Down to the inside. No Jug, does he switch to the outside? Yes, he does. No Jug has the spot. Will he be able to keep ahead of the AlphaTauri through turn 14? It's side by side. Long way around for No Jug. Contact being made there, but No Jug is able to keep the spot. And now, No Jug, I think, knows what he has to do here. He'll have to defend. He has the fastest lap. No DRS yet. As Bacon and Lancey battling it out there. Bacon's going to get around Lancey, I think, once more. 0.1 of a second the gap between the top 2. Scornsy in pursuit. Edwin not far behind either. Oh, let's see how gutsy Ryan Rods gets. He doesn't need to be. Oh, look at the differentials in the battery. No Jug down to 40%. Ryan Rods still at 70%. You can see Ryan Rods, I think, is much more comfortable under the pressure right now, knowing that he has the tow, he'll have DRS in a lap's time, and he's got the battery to be had as well. They're even Stevens on tires. It's going to come down to pure pace. Well, I tell you what, I think No Jug's had the better exit there of turn 9 and 10. It's not going to matter yet. As they make their way now through 11, 12, and 13, Ryan Rods behind by 4.5 tenths. Maybe a little tentative getting on the throttle there, but he manages to keep within good time, although the gap getting bigger, and now shrinking back down once more. It peaked at about 5:16 as race day 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. That's not what he needed. He'll be losing quite a few spots once that comes into play. Ryan Rods, I think, hesitant, under braking there. I think has maybe lost a tenth. Back to No Jug. DRS will be enabled the next time they exit turn 13. We have 4 laps to go here in the Chinese Grand Prix. Scornsy just watching this in pursuit. He's not got any battery left. Still 0.4 of a second the gap. As Scornsy watches his teammate try to defend. GSR Ryan Rods ahead. Under rolls here in New Hampshire, but that's a different story. Houdini within 0.2 of race day 2016 there. 0.5 of a second, and the gap staying quite stagnant at that. Scornsy struggling to stay within DRS range despite the 2 battling ahead. What a day this would be for the Aston Martin team if they can keep themselves in position here. No Jug, I think whether he wins or loses this race, he does not need a conundrum, and Scornsy needs to keep within DRS range as the Alpines invert positions here. They're either free to race or Bacon's got some clear pace, and I think he may on those soft tires as well. Ryan Rods, look how far behind he is. It's over 0.8 of a second getting into the DRS zone. And with 3 laps to go this time by, I'm starting to think Ryan Rods may be under some bit of pressure here, because he's not exactly chomping at the bit. He's not really getting closer. I mean, DRS is obviously going to be in his favor, but he's not really getting closer. The gap staying about 6 to 7 tenths when they're not in the DRS range. Let's see what happens now. Oh, I tell you what, No Jug, I don't think he's gotten the best go through the first couple of corners. Race day's gone in the pits is what's happened here. Very unfortunate day for Race Day, the reigning champion. This is not going to be the start to his campaign that he would have wanted. But at least now he knows what to expect when next week we head into Hungary. As it looks like Gott, Palmer, and Scavney swapping positions, as well as Cynical and Gunner. 0.3 of a second. Ryan Rod's doing everything he can, knowing that he's got bags of pace, bags of talent. I think Ryan Rods is going to need a really... Oh, we have a yellow flag at the back. It looks like, I believe that's a Ferrari of Scavney and Gott Palmer. Something's happened with them. Who gets the better exit out of 12? It's 0.5 of a second. That's not going to be far enough away for No Jug to hold on to the spot, I don't think, considering that Ryan Rods has so much more battery as well. Ryan Rods is either going to need to attack now, or he'll need to conserve for the next lap, and then attack on the final lap, and I think that's what he's going to do. I think he's going to try and maybe tuck behind, but let's see. He has the right-hand side, and he's not going to get past No Jug, but I tell you what, the pressure is certainly there. Let's see, what does Ryan Rods do? He's got DRS here. He's not really using his battery that much. He doesn't need to. No Jug using it in defense. He's all out. He blocks off the outside line. Ryan Rods is going to have the inside. And I think Ryan Rods, yes, he has. He's taken the lead away from the Aston Martin of No Jug. And now, I think this is where No Jug might be at the disadvantage. He's not been able to conserve his battery store. I know he's got pace, but he needs the energy. And Ryan Rods, mind you, 40%. Oh, look at that. That was nearly contact there. In fact, I think it may have been. Ryan Rods, the back end slipped just a little bit. If No Jug can keep this gap, he'll definitely have a move down towards turn 14. This is an unbelievable battle for the win here, ladies and gentlemen, and I can't wait for the conclusion that we're about to witness. As No Jug still within 0.3 of a second as they go down. Back straight number 1 from turn 10 to 11. What is the gap? Does No Jug be able to hold on to within 0.5 of a second? Back to Ryan Rods. He's going to get DRS as well, but he doesn't have battery. This is where the race is going to be won and lost. Does No Jug attack now, or does he conserve and wait for the next time round? I think he's going to attack now. No, he chooses not to, and I think that may have been the smart decision. But he tucks right behind the AlphaTauri, maybe a little bit of a bump there, just to let him know, hey, I'm right behind you. 0.4 of a second the gap. We're about to begin the final lap of the Grand Prix. Remember, No Jug has no battery to store right now. He has DRS, but does he use it to his advantage? How wide does Ryan Rods go through the first corner? Not going to be wide enough for the door to be open. Meanwhile, Bacon and Edwin in a hell of a battle for the 4th spot. But right now, the battle for the lead is on. I think No Jug really, he needs to make it happen through 14. The DRS zone, it's not enough time out of 16 to make it happen at the line. It's just not. I tell you what, No Jug, give him props whether he wins or loses this race, because he's put on one hell of a performance. This is the most trouble any driver's given Ryan Rods for some time, and he's got half a lap left to decide if he's going to take the win away from Ryan Rods here. Now he's within half a second, but is that enough? He's only up to 20% battery, and he's using it here. He wants to close the gap. I think this might be the wrong time to use the battery, though. I think he may have gone deeper than he anticipated into turn 11. Exiting turn 11, that's a big slide, and that may be the race. Ryan Rods pulling away now, and it's all gone slipping away from No Jug. And that, oh man, that one just hurts to see there. It really does. Because I tell you what, and I think No Jug knew it too. I think he really had to perfect the line going out of turn 12. And I think he told himself that one too many times. but it is Ryan Rod's going back-to-back here to start Season 10. He wins the Chinese Grand Prix in one hell of a performance, and hats off to No Jug for everything he did do, because himself and Scornsy, it's a double podium for Aston Martin, and I tell you what, they ought to be proud of that one. I think No Jug might feel that that race got away from him, that he could have won, but I tell you what, he put in a damn good effort, and if that's the competitiveness that Ryan Rod's going to have to face all season, we're going to get one hell of a championship battle. So at the end of a very exciting Chinese Grand Prix here today, it is Ryan Rod's claiming back-to-back wins to start off the season. No Jug in second and getting the fastest lap as well. Scornsy third, double podium for Aston Martin. Impossible Bacon up to fourth. Edwin up from third to fifth. Aero Racing Design to sixth. Lancy seventh. Fireballer eighth. VTech ninth, picking up driver of the day as well. Houdini 10th. Cynical 11th. 12th is Hightower. 13th Electric Blade. 14th Gunner, 15th Got Palmer, 16th Scavney, and rounding out the field, P17 is race day. Unfortunately for Josh Sr., Callie Robb, and Helgelin, they did not finish the session. What a race it's been, and what a race we'll have for you next time out in Hungary as well. Hotspot, it's been a pleasure joining you this week, and we'll see you next time.